lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
This is Apostle Designate Minister John E. Ross sending a shout out to Kimmy Kim on Elation Radio. Let's Talk to the Lord is a radio ministry that relates to today's society with a word, instruction, direction, and revelation from the Word of God.
What's up, family? It's me, Jerry Rose Live Worldwide from Positive Power XXI, and you're listening to Elections Radio with Kimmy Kim.
What's going on, everybody? Charles McCutchen here. You are with Charles' Corner. And today, like any other day, is all about financial freedom. And that's the only thing I know. Everybody's out here working hard, and everybody putting the work into all their prospective fields. And my thing is, if you don't have, let me break it down this way. So, because I'm in the real estate world. So I look at the house and I look at the foundation. If you don't have a strong foundation, then your house is not going to settle correctly, and it's not, you're going to have to work on it more. So what I've been doing along this journey, I've been building my foundation. So I want everybody to build their foundation. And with different things that I find as I go on this journey, some of it is eye-opening. I'm like, wow, I need to let people know about this. And when I bring up stuff to different people, people are like, well, I didn't know we had to do that. We're like, well, neither did I. And so I go along this journey, and there's so much information. This guy just asked me today, he said, hey, can you give me the information to do government contracts? And I'm like, and we're talking on social media, and I was like, man, I'd be typing for days to give you that type of information because it's just a lot of information. For those who don't know me, my name is Charles McCutchen. I'm a best-selling author. I have a nonprofit helping homeless veterans. I do real estate, and I have a true business credit business and a marketing business. But real estate is my baby. That's my passion. That's where I started. And I just show other people how to do all the stuff that I've been doing along this journey. And so as I've been going along, I've been picking up tools and everything like that and learning and sharing and doing seminars and traveling. And I love going to universities, speaking to students and helping them out I like their light bulbs to go off. Whether it's students, whether it's adults or little kids, the light bulb goes off and you understand it. And my goal for people is to get a better understanding. So when you go through it, once you understand why you're doing something, it makes it that much easier for you to comprehend it. Because most of us, give you a quick example, you go back in the day, you have a daughter, you have a mother, and you have a grandmother. And so the daughter's talking to the mother. She's in the kitchen, and she cut the sides of the ham off and put it into the oven just so it can bake or what have you. And the daughter asked her mom, why you cut the sides of the ham off? I don't know. That's what, my mom did. And so she asked her grandma, she said, well, Grandma, why did you cut the sides of the ham off? Well, I don't know. That's what my mom did. So she asked her great-grandmother, why'd you cut the sides of the ham off, great-grandma? She said, oh, that's because back in the day, the stoves were too small, so we had to cut the sides of the ham off. So if we understand the reason why we're doing something, we don't need to do that now because we have bigger stoves. But people continue to do things because that's where it's always been done. And so we have to change that mindset. And so I'm all about business, and I hope everybody is as well. Let me give out my email right quick, charlesmspeaks@yahoo.com. That's CHARLES, the letter M as in Mike. I got that military thing going on. And Speaks, SPEAKS at Yahoo, charlesmspeaks@yahoo.com. And so I do put out a lot of information. I do email a lot of people, and I tell people if you're getting something from me, if I don't get to it, I'm human. I'm human, just to let you know. So this is what's going on. I want to break it down to business. So this is what I've been doing along my journey. I've been looking at, like, the bottom line in business. Like, if I had to go all the way back and do it all over again, how would I do it? What would I do? And I tell everybody, the core of businesses is the two M's, M&M's, is money and marketing. That's the core, and the way I see it, as far as going through the journey. And the reason I say that is you see these people out here that have companies that the companies are failing and within 3 to 5 years. And a lot of it is we don't have the funding necessary to maintain our companies, to maintain our businesses. A lot of companies are on life support. Banks, they give us a small percentage of money and to say, do something with that. But let's say you needed $20,000, so the bank gave you $15,000. You can use it, but, that's not really going to help you to do what your plan was and what your thought process was. And what your thought process was should actually be in the form of a business plan. Dive in, I'm talking about business plan. Business plans, a lot of people don't have them. A lot of people don't even think about them, but that is like number one. Well, yeah, you can put a few things before business plan, but business plan is your idea. And, there's documentation out there. Some business plans are not worth the paper they're printed on. But a business plan, I see people that want to get them and they hire somebody to do their business plan. Let me tell you what you're doing. You're just wasting your time and your money for right now only because nobody has your vision like you have it. Nobody can, visualize your vision better than what God gave you to use. And so use what God gave you, grab everything you need to grab and start writing and putting this stuff down on paper. And then once you get it down on paper to at least some working management to it or something to that effect, then you can give it to some other company or let some, pay somebody to do it for you. But at least you have something. It's almost like a shell. You got your shell and you start filling it in. You're the best person for that. So business plans, it consists of a narrative and like financial worksheets. And it's a narrative is like a template. Basically, it's just like a body of the business plan. That's all it is. And it contains a lot of questions, y'all. I would say about 150 questions divided into sections. And you just got to go through and you're going to look at this thing and be like, oh, my goodness, what am I even doing with this? And one of the best things you can do is your executive summary, but that's done last. A lot of people want to do their executive summary first, but if you do all the work first, now you can sum it up at the very end and do your executive summary. And so business plans is one way we can use to get funding. One way a banker will allow us to get money depending on how we laid everything out. So if you don't have it laid out the right way, 9 out of 10, they're not about to throw any money at you. Because I'm going to tell you the easiest thing for the banker to do is to say no. That's all it is. It takes some time to do business plans. It could take a good month. It depends on what you're putting into it, how bad you want to get it, what are you doing as far as your research. So you can do your research up front and then pour it in. Everybody can do it different. And they have different offices. They have free services out there that can help you. But this is the thing I would tell you. Don't go there until you have some type of core set up. Don't just be like, hey, can you help me? Be like, you haven't even helped yourself yet. So all I'm saying is help yourself first, then go to them and say, hey, when I say them, it's going to be a company called SCORE. And they're all around. They got volunteers of people that have been in business for years, and they just do this, part-time as a volunteer. So this is a living document that you're going to have. Your business plan is a living document, and it's going to give you a snapshot. And I'll give you all a snapshot of, what a business plan has in it. So you're going to have your executive summary. This is like everything that's in it. And the way I'm giving it to y'all, I'm giving it to y'all the way I received it. And the way I received it is from the Harvard Law School has done a business plan, but their business plan was humongous. And you break it down. I broke it down to about, it's broken down to about 30 pages of information. And so they just had a very extensive business plan. And if you were to take that into a banker, and I'll tell you the reason I know, if you take that into a banker, the banker is not going to want to work with you only because it's just too much information. The banker wants the executive summary. That's all they're looking for. They want the executive summary, so that's what you need to give them. So you have the executive summary. You have the general company description, just, telling about your company. And I'll go into a little bit of detail on those. If you have any products and services, that's like a whole nother. You have your marketing plan, and that's where a lot of companies don't have a marketing plan. They don't market. It's like you don't even. I ask people, what's your marketing budget? What do you mean? I'm like, what? If you don't have a marketing budget, you really don't have a business, y'all. You have to have some type of marketing budget. That's just. I look at it as standard information, but, everybody's different. But you have to have some type of marketing budget. You have to have an operational plan. You have to have what's going to be your management and organizational plan, your personal finance statement. And this is where people get in trouble. Your personal finance statement, banks will look at that. They're going to look at that credit score. You better believe it. They're going to look at it. If you're going for money, they want to see what you're up to, what you're doing. But I have a way around that as well. The other thing they're going to look at, your startup expenses and any capital that you have right now. Where's your money coming from? Start with zero. It is what it is. That's just where you're starting from. Then you have to have a financial plan and any type of anything you have after that to refine your plan. So your executive summary, that's a summation to let people get a snapshot. They don't have to read through your whole plan. They just get a snapshot of where you are. You include anything you cover, like if you were talking to them and they say, well, what do you need? What are you doing? And so you have about 5 minutes. If you're talking to a banker, in a sense, that's how you look at it. If you're going to talk to the banker for 5 minutes, that same 5 minutes you're going to talk to sell them on your idea of what your business is, that's the same thing you're going to put into your business executive summary. That 5 minutes is going to kind of give them, you can explain the fundamentals of your proposed business, what would your products be, who your customers. This is one thing I see from people as well. It kills me. You ask people who their customers, and they're like, everybody. And it's like, no, it's not everybody. You have to have some type of customer. And I get it. We want to serve everybody, but there's no way. Let's say you had a store. There is no way you can serve everybody. I mean, imagine everybody came into your store. You can't serve everybody. What you're going to end up doing is losing customers, and people are going to lose faith in you as a business. So you have to look at, you can't do every product. Everybody, I just spoke to a guy today. I was like, well, kind of narrow it down first and get some groundwork under one product, and then, then get the other product out there, especially if it's a service-based business. You can't do everything, especially if you one-man band or one-woman band. Who are your owners? Are you the only person that's going to own this thing? And what do you think the future holds for your business and your industry? And with that, there's some documentation, some programs that you can actually dig into, and the work is already done. All you have to do is print out the information. You put your information in so you don't have to do too much work. It has to be professional, y'all. It has to be concise. It has to be complete. It has to be thought-provoking. It has to be you're selling people. I look at it like this. Your business plan can get you some money. So you take that and, you do it however you want to do it. You have to state clearly how much you want, precisely how you're going to use it and how it's going to make your business more profitable. And the biggest thing is, whenever you give anybody any money, and y'all can attest to this, when am I getting my money back? Stop playing. That's what I want to know. When are you going to give me my money back? When am I going to get that's what a banker looks at. And the reason I'm bringing up banker stuff is I went to a seminar with a banker that's been in the industry for over 35 years. This guy is a monster, and he broke down some stuff that I'm going to tell y'all straight up. I was scratching my head like, wow, this guy's pretty amazing. But, I mean, when you've been in the industry for 35 years, you can kind of just, you kind of calling the shot. He started up in New York with a major center of financial institution, and he did, Columbia University graduate school. He did commercial real estate, so that was good for me, and commercial lending, asset and liability management. He did retail. He did it all. Once you're in 35 years, you probably can hit the whole industry. You kind of just run over everything. So my thing is, when I go get my information, I have to go to the experts to find out who's who, and I work to get as much as I can from those people who are in the know. The other thing you have in your business plan is products and services. So you have to describe that stuff in depth. They need to know. I mean, I'm talking down to your technical specifications. If you have drawings, photos, if you already did some sales, it's almost like Shark Tank. And this is the thing I don't understand about Shark Tank. How can you go in front of Mark Cuban and Damon, and you've been in front of all those folks, and they start asking you about numbers, and you sit there like, I don't know. You can't. I mean, Shark Tank been on for a long time. So if you're going to be going on Shark Tank, there's no way that that you're not going to have to rattle those numbers off when they ask. You're going to just rattle your numbers off. And that's the disadvantage that some people put themselves in, because they say, well, I don't know the numbers. I'm not a business person. Well, you better find somebody who is, so they can do the numbers for you so you have a better understanding. What factors you're going to give as far as your competitive advantage or your disadvantages, and your level of quality. When you're looking at your different proprietary features, if you have that, what are you going to price this thing at? Do you have any other fees out there? Are you going to be leasing your building or your products and services? Are you leasing some of those things? So it's a lot that goes in with just products and services. And I look at it this way. The more detailed you are when you're going down this road, the better off you'll be, because you can always take away. I like to put as much, I say throw up on it as much as you can, put as much down as you possibly can, and then you can scale back. It's always easy to scale back. So your marketing plan, this baby right here, I will tell you like this, because I started a marketing company, marketing for a few different businesses, and a lot of people don't know how to market. It's like we just kind of I don't know, we're just out there. We're out there doing what we think is right, and I think there's just a lot of people doing a lot of wrong. Nobody knows how to market, but nobody's willing to go to training to learn how to market. Nobody wants to pay anybody to market for them, and we just kind of just go through the movement. So I don't care how good you are or how good you think you are, you won't succeed without marketing. That's why I broke it down to marketing and money. And I have to add the business plan in there as well, because the marketing piece goes into the business plan. So it's all about research. And I had one lady, they're doing something for the urban community, for the African-American community. They're doing a hair shop, but they wanted to put their hair shop around a community that wasn't African-American. So I'm just like, the demographics don't match up to what you're looking for. If you're going to do that, you need to go where the demographics say go. And that work is already done. So it's more of a, come on, y'all, let's be smart about this. That's all it is. So there's primary and secondary research out there. Secondary meaning, published information that's already out there. You got journals, newspapers, magazines, data. It's all about the census data that's out there in the demographic profiles. So they're already, I have systems that's already out there, and the work is already done. You just got to pull that information. And primary research, just like your own data, you can do your own. You can look through the yellow pages and identify your competitors and stuff like that, and find out what the market is doing. You need to know facts about your industry. And see, when I start speaking like this, a lot of people kind of be like, oh, shoot, I didn't know we had to do all this. Well, do you want to be in business or no? That's the question, Do you want to be in business or no? I mean, what is it? It's the economic breakdown. What's the total size of your market? If your market is not buying balloons, why are you selling them? It's almost like a common sense type of test for some of the things. You have to look at the market, how big it is, how big a percent of the share of the market, are you going to have? What's the current demand of a target market right now? What's the growth potential? Is it declining? I mean, are you going to still be in business 3 years from now or 1 year from now? What's the barriers that you're going to face to entry? What do you have to do to get into this? And, typical barriers could be it's high capital cost to even get in, high marketing costs to get in, training and skills are high. You may have a union or shipping costs or tariff barriers or things like that. That's just, part of the marketing that you have to look at. And what can affect your company? What's going to affect it? Is weather going to affect them? It is. The economy, the industry, government regulations, technology, all that you have to look at. What's going to affect it? And then up under marketing, you still have products. You got to look at, your products and services and break that down. How are you going to feature that stuff? Who are you going to tell? How are you going to put your information out there? Then your customers, what do your customers say? I ask this to companies. This is what I ask them. A lot of them are dumbfounded. What is your company saying about your industry? What is your company saying about your industry? In a sense, have you identified your target market? And most companies, they're like, well, I don't know what they're saying. And that's just an honest thing. You figure out what age group are you going to be marketing to. You're going to be marketing to men or women. And so I had this one guy. He approached me about doing business with him, and he was marketing feminine products. And for me, that's not what I'm passionate about. I don't see myself marketing feminine products. But my thing is, I would focus more on women than men. And I know there may be some data to say, well, men can sell it better because this, and this. But I think you have to have the kind of man that's really that wants to do something like that. That's just me. I'm going to stick with women doing the stuff that's for women and women hygiene products. That's just what I look at. So the other thing is your competition. Where are they located? What are they doing in volume? So you can find out a lot of information, even online. What are they doing? How are you going to compete with them? I don't believe the market can be cornered. That's just me. I believe that some people just market better than others. How will your products and services compare with the competition? Because the biggest thing we're big on out there is customer service. You provide good customer service and have a small company, you still can rock it. You better believe that. And so you do a competitive analysis between your competitors. Rank them. A, B, C company, what's their price and my price? What's their quality? What's their service? Are they reliable? Are they experts? Where's their location? How do they appear? What's their appearance? Those are the things you need to look at. How do they advertise? Do they make money how much money do they spend advertising? Some of this stuff is out there for the taking, but a lot of people don't know where to get it. Do you have a niche? What's your strategy? How are you going to promote? Are you going to outline the marketing strategy? How are you going to do that? And a lot of this stuff, a lot of people can help you, but it's going to, it's in the back of your mind. You need to know that, okay, this is what I need to do. And you can only fill in. You maybe only fill in so much, and that's okay. Just fill in what you need to fill in. And so some people, what I see a lot of people do in their company, especially if you're working by yourself, is we like to underprice ourselves. We kind of like, well, we don't want to overprice it, and then people don't want to come. And then you have people doing programs for $5,000. And like, dang, this person he just sold 10 packages for $5,000 a piece. He made $50,000, and my packages are like $300, and I can't sell it. It's how you market you. People will buy into you before they buy into your program. They want to know you are successful. They want to know you can fit. You can help them out. It's more on an emotional thing that we buy off an emotion. And if you're not emotional about what you do, people are not probably going to believe you. How are you going to distribute this stuff? What's your sales forecast? Like, are you seeing anything coming out? Do you have a spreadsheet prepared month by month, and that's the one thing I have to, a spreadsheet like on the numbers, because a lot of us don't want to work with the numbers. The numbers scare people, but if you don't see the numbers, you're not going to last that long. You're not going to last. It's not going to be happy for you. So then you have an operational plan, like, okay, what's my day-to-day? My location, how much building do I need? And the one thing I really, like, you got a restaurant, but you have a restaurant, but you got 4 tables in there. What type of restaurant is that? You know, it's like you didn't really plan that out. You didn't look at the location. You have a location, you're excited, you can start, but it's like, okay, you got 4 tables and no room. So how are you going to have a restaurant and, you know, it just doesn't work. So I see some people, they come to me like, man, I want this great place, but I want to turn it into XYZ. And I'm like, well, have you got with the city yet? Because the city has zoning laws that, you know, you may not be able to put a barbershop in that place. You know, it's up to the city, and they can change zoning laws, but you need to talk to them first before signing a contract and trying to, you know, you hype and you ready to go. I get it, you know, but what's the zoning laws say? Are you going to have access? Is it parking? I see some companies, you know, I be wanting to go there, but their parking sucks. I can't even find anywhere to park. So it's like I just drive off. I'm not going to stay there and try to find a parking spot. That's just me. And so the other piece is legal environment. You have to get a lawyer that understands how to form LLCs or how to form S corporations or whatever it is you're doing. You need some type of legal jargon, and that's for online and offline, just to cover yourself. You got to make sure. Do you need permits? You know, you need arbor. You got a restaurant. You got insurance. You better have insurance if you're a doggone restaurant. You know, do you have any trademarks or patents that you need to put out there or you need to purchase? And then you have to look at people. So you're going to work with people. If you want to make money, you're going to have to work with people. If you want to help people, you're going to have to work with people. How many people do you need to help you? How many people do you need to make your business successful? You know, what are they going to be paying? You know, are you going to be training people? So it's business plans. It's just information that's going to make you think. And that's all I'm doing is just running through stuff that's going to make you think about what are you doing. So let's say you have a restaurant. You always got to look at inventory. You know, what do you need? What are you selling out on? But hopefully you're going to have somebody that wants to do stuff like that with you that's going to help you out, because nobody can run a restaurant by themselves. So you're going to have somebody that wants to do the restaurant, wants to do the inventory, wants to restock the shelves and stuff like that. So, you know, that's just a part of it. You have, oh my goodness, there's just so much. I have this, like I said, I got a 31-page business plan, and I have a cash flow worksheet out there as well. And Charleston Speaks at yahoo.com. I'm putting it out there little by little because it's a lot of information. So I'm putting it on social media so people can have some insight in, you know, okay, what do you do? And you have to manage your business. Even like in a nonprofit, you have a board of directors. You may have that in your business. So you're going to definitely need a banker, a lawyer. You may need a consultant. I would get a few of those. You're going to need some advisors, somebody that you can just go to for questions. Be like, hey, I was thinking about this. You know, what are you going to do? That's just looking at, you know, who do you want in your team, like your power team, you know, if that's what we want to call it. That personal finance statement, that's one of the things that's up there that you will need to do. And it's really a breakdown of you. You know better than anybody what your finances are, what your credit score is. Don't worry about a credit score. It can be fixed. So my thing is, once you have the thought process of what you want to do, you start the business plan, you start working on your personal credit, then you start working on true business credit, and then from there you're going to have to go to the government side of things, because I say get all the money. Don't just get a little bit. It's out there for the taking for us to get a piece of all of it. Then you have your expenses, your capitalization. You know, how are you going to fund this thing? That's where your baby is. How are you going to fund it? And that cash flow sheet is like a balance sheet, kind of give you a snapshot of where you need to be, and, you know, the biggest thing is break even. And then there's a profit and loss statement and a balance sheet. Those two things right there are crucial. You have to be able to look at your profit and loss and say, okay, are we winning or losing? And you can be winning or think you're winning, but be losing at the same time. And so, like I said, all this information, I'm putting that over social media. Anybody who needs my help, I'm helping as many as I can. I do what I can out here. This is just business plan 101 with the cash flow worksheet and information on how to grow, how to start your business. And I just hit y'all upside the head with a few things. And I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to leave it right there because I don't want to go too deep. Because you can go deep into these things and go to the weeds. Like the Harvard Law School, they had this doggone, they had so many pages of information on a lot of stuff that didn't even apply to me. But, I mean, my thing is to break it down to use what I need. And that's what I want everybody else to do as well. So my name is Charles McCutchen. I want to thank Ms. Kimmy Robinson for allowing me to get on Elation Radio. I'm going to wait on Elation TV. I want to see how that's going to play out. I know she's getting with a lot of great people, making some big moves, and then you have, all the stuff with Elation. I know it's like it's branching out and it's going into so many different avenues, and the magazine as well. So I do want to thank you, and I want to pray us out. So, Father God, thank you for allowing me to come on and enlighten people. Thank you for instilling in me everything that you give me so I can give back to the people. And may you look out for them as we go through the struggle. And I say reach down and we grab other people to bring them back up. In your name we pray. Amen. This is Charles McCutchen. I'm your favorite entrepreneur. Mondays we'll be here crushing it, making big moves. Y'all take it easy. See y'all later. Talk to y'all later.